So we're going to factor this quadratic expression using the box. So the first thing, I multiply the x squared coefficient by the constant term. 12 times negative 15 is negative 180. So I want two numbers that multiply to give me negative 180 and add to give me 11. Now, there are a lot of factors in negative 180. So instead of just guessing and checking numbers, let me show you a little strategy that I use to sort of make sure I'm honing in on the correct numbers. So I need two numbers that multiply to give me negative 180, and they have to add to give me positive, so they have to be opposite signs, and the bigger numbers are going to have to be positive. So let's say I started with 12 and 15, just because those were the numbers at the beginning and at the end. I'd have to make the 12 negative because these add to a positive number. When I add those together, I get 3. So clearly that's not right because I wanted 11. So let me pick another number that goes evenly into 180. How about negative 10? It goes in there 18 times. When you add those together, you get 8. Now that's still not right, but I'm moving in the right direction because 8 is closer to 11 than 3 was. So let's say I went to negative 6. That was the first thing I thought of. That goes into negative 180 30 times. When you add those together, that gives you 24. I went too far because I had 8 and now I'm at 24. So if I have numbers that are going to work, they have to fall between these two factor pairs. So I would only have to try, negative 7, negative 8, and negative 9. Negative 7 doesn't go into negative 180, neither does negative 8. So when I try negative 9, it goes into it 20 times, and that does add to give me 11. So these are the numbers that I want. So now, I'm going to draw my box. The x squared term goes in the top left, the constant term in the bottom right, and I take those two numbers that I just found in either order and put them in the top right and bottom left with an x. And now I'm going to look at this first row and say, what is in common between both the variable parts and the number parts? So the biggest thing in common between the numbers is the number 4, and the biggest thing in common with the variables is the x. So I pull out a 4x. And then I go around and say, what has to be here to make this work? So this is 4x, this is 12x squared, so this would have to be a 3 and an x. This is 3x, this is negative 9x, so this would have to be negative 3. This is negative 3, this is negative 15, so this would have to be a positive 5. So my factors are 4x minus 3 and 3x plus 5.